Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel. Today's topic is different types of disabilities, and this topic was suggested to me by my sister. And I'm really glad she suggested this to me because it allowed me to learn a lot more about disabilities that I didn't know. I mean, I knew about common types of disabilities and there's a lot of them, but I didn't know that there were 8 main types of disabilities, which is really cool to learn because like I said, this is something I'm really passionate about. It's not normal for someone to be. I don't think it's normal for someone to be this passionate about this topic, but I am. I don't know why. I've been like this since I've been a kid, so it really hasn't changed much. It might have just got more intense, but and I hope you understand. I just like sharing and informing people as well as encouraging and helping people that are going through some of the similar challenges I may have gone through, or even if I didn't experience them, I would like to support them in any way I can. And I think this is important by sharing some of my personal experiences with some of the topics that I went over and learning and sharing some of the stuff I learned through research. Okay, and I hope you enjoy this video. Before I get into today's topic, I wanted to let you guys know I'm not an expert in special education. I'm not a medical professional, so I can't diagnose any person that has any disability. I am not giving out any advice for you to follow, so if you follow this advice, it won't be because I told you guys not to. Just be aware I told you not to do it, okay? And I'm not going to go into any details for any examples that I cover in this video under each different type of disability because I want to do some future videos on some of the examples. If you guys would like that, please let me know in the comment section. And as we know, there are many different types of disabilities. There are probably hundreds to thousands of disabilities around the world. And I obviously probably don't know all of them. And even if we did, I don't think we would understand the severity or we wouldn't understand probably each one of them in a way that the person that's actually experiencing it might. Most of this information, and I'm sorry if I move the camera sometimes, but my hand's not always steady, just so you know. Most of the information that I'm going to present to you is from the Disabled World website, and then some of the information is from the CDC website. And here it goes. There are many types of disabilities, and sorry for the clicking because that's my laptop, and I'm using the notes that I wrote up on my laptop to present to you guys. I'm sorry about that. There are many different types of disabilities, such as those those that affect a person's vision, hearing, thinking, learning, movement, mental health, remembering, communicating, and social relationships. Disabilities can be broken into a number of broad subcategories, which include the following 8 main types of disabilities. We have mobile slash physical. Second is spinal cord injuries. Third is head injuries. Fourth is vision. Fifth is hearing. Sixth is cognitive learning. Seventh is psychological, and 8 is invisible. The first type of disability is mobile and physical impairments. This category of disability includes people with varying types of physical disabilities, including upper limbs disability, lower limbs disability, manual dexterity, disability in coordination with different organs of the body. And I'm so sorry if I'm messing up these words, but like I've said probably in I've said on one of my comments under one of my videos was that I have problems with reading out loud, and doing this on camera just adds to it because I already have a lot of anxiety and fear when it comes to reading out loud because something that happened in my past. So please just bear with me and understand. Disability in mobility can be either inborn or acquired with age problem. It can also affect an effect of a disease. People who have a broken bone also fall under this category of disability. Examples of mobility and physical impairments include cerebral palsy, spinal bifida, muscular dystrophy, heart defects, pulmonary disease, amputation, multiple sclerosis, heart disease. People with physical impairments often use um, it says assistive devices or mobile aids such as crutches, canes, walkers, wheelchairs, and artificial limbs to obtain mobility. The second type of disability is a spinal cord injury, a spinal cord or a spinal cord disability. Spinal cord injury can sometimes lead to uh, long life disabilities. This kind of injury often occurs due to severe accidents. This injury can be complete or incomplete. An incomplete injury is that the messages conveyed by the spinal cord are not completely lost, whereas a complete injury is in results in dysfunctioning of the sensory organs. I'm guessing that means like the arms and the legs and like certain like parts of your body that feel the senses in them. I don't know all of them, of course. The examples of spinal cord. Oh, sorry, and I forgot to say this. I'm so sorry. I missed one of my notes. This is why it's good to have notes, like I said. In some cases, spinal cord injuries can be a result of a birth defect. For example, spinal cord disabilities include quadriplegia, uh, paraplegia, and tetraplegia. The third type of disability is head injury or brain disability. A disability in the brain often occurs due to brain injury. The multitude of the injury can range from the mild, moderate, and severe. There are two types of brain injuries: acquired brain injury, which is ABI, or you have traumatic brain injury. ABI is not a hereditary type defect, but it's a degeneration that occurs after birth. The causes of such cases of injury are many and are mainly because of external forces applied to the body parts. TBI or traumatic brain injury, it results in emotional dysfunction and behavioral disruption. And sorry about that because this is really windy here for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Some examples of head injuries are we have hematoma, we have a concussion, a skull fracture, and a hemorrhage. The fourth type of disability is a vision disability. There are hundreds of thousands of people that have minor to severe vision disabilities and impairments. These injuries can result in some serious problems and diseases like blindness or I think it says ocular trauma, to name a few. Some of the common vision impairments include scratched corneas. We have dry eyes and a coronal graft. The fifth type of disability is a hearing disability. Hearing disabilities include people that are completely or partially deaf, and deaf is the political term for a person with a hearing impairment. People who are partially deaf can often use hearing aids to assist their hearing. But just a note to that, some people that are deaf do not want to use that, or people that are partially deaf do not want to use hearing aids. Just for you guys to be aware. Yeah, it's a thing because it depends on what they want personally. So not everyone's gonna want to use a hearing aid. Just so you know. Deafness can be evident at birth or can occur later in life because of biologic causes. For example, meningitis can damage the auditory nerve or the cochlea. Deaf people use sign language as a means to communicate. Hundreds of sign languages are used around the world. So, for example, people that are deaf in our in the US use American Sign Language, but in different countries they have different types of sign language. So what we use in the US wouldn't be the same as what they may use in Europe or Spain or, different places around the world. Sign language are as rich and some of that information that I was saying is not from there. It's not wasn't given on the website. I just know it because of some of the stuff I learned through my sign language class that I took in college. Um, and it was That's just a side note. Okay, sign language is as rich and complicated as an oral language, despite the common misconceptions that they are not real languages. And let's be honest, who can tell people what a real language is? Let's be honest, because there are different ways to communicate, especially with people that are nonverbal, or that can't speak. And that was another side note. The sixth type of disability is cognitive or learning disabilities. Cognitive disabilities are kind of impairment presented in people who are suffering from dyslexia or various other types of learning difficulties, including speech or speech or disorders. For example, cognitive examples of cognitive disabilities are dyslexia, which I'm pretty sure I have, but I've never been diagnosed with it because, side note, well, personal note for myself, but also side note, I was never diagnosed with it, but I have some of the traits of dyslexia, even though I don't have the common traits. But I was reading about it and it was really cool. And I really want to do a video on dyslexia, so we'll see if anyone wants that. And then ADHD is another cognitive disability, which is ADHD stands for attentive, attentive really rhyme. I am so sorry that I'm messing this up like this, but I am honest. Like I told you, reading out loud and having anxiety about doing it, and then being on camera is like making my anxiety crazy with this. I'm sorry about that. So it's attentive dis D D. I can't do it. Sorry, I'm not gonna even try to finish that part. Okay, we're just gonna do like this. ADHD is a developmental disorder that becomes apparent during childhood. I am so sorry to anyone that's watching this and thinks it's like a joke, because I really was struggling with the words, because like I said, in my brain when I'm trying to read something, this is how I literally read sometimes, like, because my disability is, like I said, it's in reading comprehension, reading pronunciation, like writing. So I'm so sorry if you heard me butcher that. And I got that information for the about how that ADHD is a developmental disorder from that is sorry a developmental disorder that becomes apparent during childhood, from the CDC website. Brain injuries also brain injuries including stroke, illness, traumatic brain injury, brain tumor, and meningitis is another type of cognitive disability. Last cognitive disability, and I really got to be clear about the last one I'm going to say on a genetic disability, which is autism. I need to be clear about that, because I'm going to be clear about it because there's a lot of misconception when it comes to autism, and I think it's kind of vital that it's not misconstrued what I'm saying. Okay, so genetic disabilities include Down syndrome, dementia, and autism. And autism can be genetic, but it may not always be. And it also is not a learning disability, not one. I learned this through doing research, and someone else told me, and I had no idea. And the reason I didn't have an idea, because in school, throughout life, let's be honest, throughout my education in my whole life, I never was told it was not a learning disability. So they made it seem like it was a disability, and it's a learning disability. It's not one. It's actually a neurological and developmental disorder. And type 7, I'm so sorry this video is so long, but I just appreciate anyone that even is willing to watch this whole thing. Let's be honest. with all my mistakes and everything, because I'm not, let's be honest, I'm not editing it. I want you to see what I go through, me having a disability and going through this video and all my anxiety. I want you to see what I deal with when I'm doing this. So if you hate it, oh well, I'm sorry. Okay. And I'm just being honest. The seventh type of disability is a physical sorry psychological psychological disorders, affective disorders or disorders of mood or change. I'm sorry, disorders of mood or feeling state, either short or long term. Mental health impairment is the term used to describe people who experience psychological problems or illness such as personality disorder, defined as deeply inadequate patterns of behavior and thought of substantial severity to cause significant impairment to day-to-day activities. And I'm really, really sorry that this camera is, my hand's like really shaking. I'm sorry about that. Then we have schizophrenia, a mental disorder characterized by disturbances of thinking, mood, and behavior. And the last type of disability, or the eighth type of disability, is indivisible, really indivisible. So sorry. It says invisible disabilities. Invisible disabilities are disabilities that are um, immediate or not immediately apparent to others. Which technically, I guess, even though people wouldn't say it, I guess mine is kind of indivisible because it's so people don't know that I have a disability until I tell them about it. So technically, I guess mine could be considered could be invisible, even though it may be dyslexia, which I'm pretty sure it is. But you can't tell. Like looking at me, you wouldn't know that until, like I said, until I mention it. And it said on the site that on one of the websites that I looked at for information, and I'm also gonna link them in one of my comments, so you know, if you want to look more into it, you can. Um, it's it states that it is estimated that about 10% of people in the U.S. have medical conditions considered a type of considered as a type of invisible disability. Wow, Mariah. Wow, that's all I gotta say to myself. I really feel so bad. Like I literally am trying so hard to get this information out, and it's like my brain's like, yeah, we're trying. That's what's kind of like happening, and I'm so happy to anyone that watches the video, and even if you don't, I appreciate you watching even a little sliver of it, because it took me. I did a lot of research on doing this video, like a lot, like in-depth research, and I really appreciate every single person that watches all my videos, and even if you watch them and don't comment, I appreciate it even then. Okay. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of like going all over the place, but I literally, my brain's like going a lot of miles per hour because, like I said, my anxiety is really shot up when I read off of a screen or read on the camera because I already have problems with reading out loud. And if you want to ever see a video of me reading out loud, hear me talk about it, my reading out loud and how it stems to anxiety and it affects my disability. I will tell you. If you want to see, let me know in the comment section because I really would love to share that, but I hope you don't judge it too harshly, because or whoever the person that did it to me harshly, because that's not fair to them. Okay. And almost done, guys. I'm so sorry, this video is extremely long. That's supposed to be kind of my fault, but okay. Examples of individual disabilities include chronic pain, chronic fatigue, mental illness, physical dizziness. No, chronic dizziness. Physical dizziness is not even on here. I don't know why I said that. And I decided my next video is going to be on dealing with anxiety, which it's perfect because I literally been dealing with anxiety this whole video, so it perfectly suits the whole thing. Okay, so it's called what the next video is going to be called, dealing with anxiety while having a learning disability, which fits perfectly because this is literally what I've been dealing with the whole video, and you probably witnessed it, and I feel so bad you had to witness it, but I'm being honest, and I'm sorry if you don't like that I'm not editing all my mistakes out of here. But I want you to see what I'm dealing with when I'm doing this stuff, so you can see how I honestly how I honestly experience things. If you don't like that, I'm sorry, I can't help you. But um, if you like it, I hope you do. But if you don't, you can hit the dislike. I don't care. I just want people to understand this is what I go through on a daily basis when it comes to reading out loud and doing it on camera and stuff. So, but I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, that's fine. If you didn't, can't help you. Like I said. Um, I also hope that everyone is staying safe, and I'm praying for you and your families and everyone in the world still. If you have anything that you would like me to pray for, let me know in the comment section. Like I told you in my other video, but you can let me know in this video too. Thanks you guys for watching. I love you guys. Bye.